we've seen people fall prey to this, right? And the next thing that happens is that once you've filled out that quote unquote password reset page, the hacker then uses the information you provided to go log into your actual email account and your actual data storage account. So that's what phishing looks like. Again, this is a simulation here. We have an extension in our email that we can check to see if this is a simulation. That's part of our ongoing training, where you click and you say, is this a training phishing email? And in this case, it was. But I wanted to show it because I really liked it. It looked really legit. Let's go to the next slide, Taylor. Okay, we're going to cover the section talking about be safe on the internet. This is a really wide topic, and they've got some suggestions in this section of the document from the IRS. Again, this is largely just best practice for everyone. So most of the stuff that we're going to point out is just best practice type stuff. But I think if I wanted to summarize the biggest thing that I would encourage companies to use as an approach to being safe on the internet, it is multi-factor authentication. A lot of the attack vectors, the threat vectors that we see out there involve getting hold of a user's username and password. When you introduce an additional layer of authentication, a text message or an email that you've got to click on the verification link, or in most cases, what we prefer is a time-based code that times out every 30 seconds. That's becoming pretty ubiquitous. That's something that's available almost everywhere now, that there's a major provider involved. And it really is the silver bullet. So running back to the phishing simulation, right? We saw a breach not too long ago with an organization that they received a phishing email, and it said something very similar to, please click here to reset your password or log in to make sure your account's not deactivated. They clicked there, and they entered their username and password into the hacker's website that looked very legitimate. And the next thing we saw was logging into that organization's environment from an overseas location, right? We saw logins from France, and due to COVID, everyone's locked down. We know that nobody's in France right now. This should not be happening. So we hustled to implement multi-factor authentication, which really is the silver bullet there. And it makes people, when they sign in, have to have that second piece of information, whether it's an app on their smartphone or recipient of that text message that has that 6-digit code. That keeps your account safe from hackers in a way that we are really, it's not impossible to fool, but most of the attacks that are out there today, it will stop. So that's my number one. Like if you do nothing else as a result of this webinar, go implement multi-factor authentication everywhere, and your accounts will be way less likely to get hacked.